us check in with KRQE News 13 anchor Elizabeth Alvarez for this morning's headlines. You've all been working so hard, a long morning for you. Thanks for being with us, Elizabeth.
Hey, Elizabeth. To you. Good morning to you at home. We begin this morning talking about how Bernalillo County Sheriff deputies continue their investigation into the mass shooting at a South Valley home that killed 5 members of a single family. Authorities say that on Saturday night, Nehemiah Griego, who was just 15 years old, they say killed his family, including his father, Greg, his mother, Sarah, his sisters, Dael and Angelina, who are just 5 and 2 years old, and his brother, Zephaniah, who was 9. News 13's Kayla Ayers has the story.
You know, I've been down there with our investigators this morning. There's no other way to say it except that we have a horrific crime scene down there that we're working on.
Even the sheriff was shocked by what he saw when he walked into this home on Long Lane in the South Valley. A 911 call came in around 9:15 Saturday night. The caller saying multiple people were dead inside the house. 3 victims, only children, 2 girls and a boy. Also a man and woman dead, all of them shot multiple times.
The victims all apparently suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Multiple weapons were apparently used, including 1 assault rifle.
Police cars now block off the property, what was once filled with kids playing. A basketball hoop, children's bikes left motionless in the backyard. Officials say the call to this house, a sprawling property that includes a barn, home, and pool, was made by someone who had apparently just talked to the suspected gunman. Police say that suspect is 15-year-old Nehemiah Griego. He's been arrested. Deputies believe he lived in the home that's now become the scene of a horrific mass murder.
So obviously, you know, from the Sheriff's Department, our thoughts and prayers go out to the extended family. This is going to be a very tough situation for many of them.
Kayla Ayers, KRQE News 13.
Absolutely heartbreaking there. And by the way, Nehemiah Griego is facing 2 counts of murder plus 3 counts of child abuse resulting in death. We will have more on this developing story on KRQE News 13 and on 2 Casa Fox. Albuquerque Mayor R.J. Berry is back in New Mexico after the annual U.S. Conference of Mayors in Washington, D.C., where one of the main topics discussed was gun control.
They talked about gun control, but they also talked about the fact that cities around the country need help with services for those who are suffering from mental illness.
The U.S. Conference of Mayors is where mayors from many big cities around the country gather to discuss ideas, problems, and solutions in each city. Last month, Mayor R.J. Berry and Police Chief Ray Schultz launched a gun disposal program where anyone in the state can drop off guns and ammunition every Saturday in January. But not everyone wants more gun control here in New Mexico and in the U.S. There was a rally in front of the Roundhouse in Santa Fe this weekend. Many of the folks who showed up were holding pistols, shotguns, and even some high-powered assault rifles as they told legislators to protect their right to bear arms.
I feel I have the right to protect myself, just like everybody else here. You know, it's part of our nation's founding, and that's extremely important to all of us.
Rallies like this were going on across the U.S. this weekend, and the one here was started by that 16-year-old that you just heard from. He's from Rio Rancho. His name is Joshua Kennedy, and he says he thinks that the gun control laws that the president wants to pass are unconstitutional. Well, you and the state are now on the hook for paying a lot of money to a man the Public Regulation Commission fired. The Santa Fe New Mexican says a jury recently gave Aaron Feliciano $355,000, but it's because it's part of the state's Whistleblower Protection Act. It actually doubles to $710,000. Feliciano got fired from his job as the compliance director for the PRC's insurance division. That happened back in 2009. It happened after he complained that his supervisors were hiring political contributors. That wraps it up for your Monday morning headlines. Be sure to catch Matt, Kristen, and myself every weekday morning on KRQE News 13, beginning at 4:30 a.m. Ladies, I'm going to send it back to you.
Thanks, Elizabeth.